Hey Hoopers, have you heard the latest news? There's a new superstar in Phoenix. Where will these big three go far? Teams rich in talent don't always meet expectations. Let's look at the big three who didn't win as expected. Before we continue, remember to subscribe to Goat of Basket, activate the bell, and stay updated. Wow, expectations are running high with Beal joining the Suns. Adding another real hooper like him to Booker and KD makes for a big three with serious scoring power. The cost of this new arrangement, though, is saying goodbye to Paul in Arizona. While we wait to see where Paul will end up, let's wonder together if this trio can live up to the hype. After all, other teams have put together formidably stacked squads before and still failed to win anything. Remember when KD arrived in sunny Phoenix and formed a lethal trio with Booker and Paul, plus the height and talent of Ayton? Well, as Beal's arrival shows, those Suns didn't quite live up to their potential and were swept away by the Nuggets in a 4-2 defeat. Before landing in Phoenix, poor KD was a part of another hyped-up super team, the one everyone expected to deliver, but instead fell miserably flat. At the Nets, before the situation completely went downhill, the locker room was divided between Irving, Harden, and KD. They were three of the league's best scorers with offensive capabilities that were out of this world. They could create opportunities through their ball-handling skills and were unstoppable both beyond the arc and inside the area. In their first year together, the Nets made the playoffs thanks to their incredible scoring ability. However, their title run was stopped in its tracks by Giannis Antetokounmpo's Bucks. Irving had to bow out of the series due to an ankle injury, and Harden didn't provide the support they hoped he would due to injury. KD was the one to carry the team with exceptional performances, but unfortunately, despite his incredible skills, a potential buzzer beater only turned out to be a tying shot due to his huge feet. This sent the game to overtime, where the Bucks came out victorious. In the following year, the team again presented itself as the main candidate for the title at the start of the season, but internal problems quickly caused the team to falter. Irving refused to get vaccinated against COVID-19 and was forced to sit out home games due to New York's prevailing policies. Harden, unwilling to put up with Irving's underwhelming commitment to the team, lost faith in their chances of clinching the title and requested a trade. He moved to Philadelphia, and the Nets received Ben Simmons and Seth Curry in return. Of the possible 120 games the three could have played together, they only played 16, with a record of 13 wins and 3 losses. This is a really bitter pill to swallow when we think about how strong this trio could have been. They had the potential to create a dynasty, but instead, it was all for nothing. Another great trio that on paper should have routed the league is the Clippers signing Chris Paul in 2011. There, Paul played for one of the most exciting and spectacular teams of recent years. Alongside the playmaker were two of the most athletic players in NBA history, DeAndre Jordan and Griffin. For Paul, all he had to do was toss the ball up in the air to be sure one of those two would throw it down. Despite great performances in the regular season and countless highlights, once the playoffs rolled around, things just didn't go the right way. Every season when the Clippers made the playoffs, they seemed to vanish into thin air, and it was clear that they were missing that extra factor to reach the title. After carefree years, the continuous defeats and injuries of superstars like Paul and Griffin put an end to Lob City. Could the Clippers' Big Three have ever existed if David Stern hadn't put a stop to the trade that would have sent the young point guard to the Lakers in Los Angeles? In 2012, with Kobe bolstered by a center like Gasol, he strongly requested the arrival of a high-level point guard to complete the team. All signs pointed towards Chris Paul, but that wasn't the case. The Lakers got veteran Steve Nash first, and then Dwight Howard. The Lakers' starting five included 4 All-Stars and former Defensive Player of the Year artist, an unbeatable team, at least on paper. The injuries to Howard and Nash would compromise their potential. Nash, now approaching 38, no longer managed to have an impact or continuity in his game that had distinguished him over the years. Howard, on the other hand, suffered a serious back injury that compromised his game. It was the same old Kobe who always carried the team and never gave up. He played almost the whole season, with an almost total playing time. From March onwards, he averaged 40 minutes on the court. After a whole season played intensely, even his body, now no longer very young, suffered. And in the 80th game of the season, against the Warriors, he injured his Achilles tendon. Those Lakers who appeared unbeatable melted like snow in the sun, becoming one of the most disappointing super teams ever. Let's continue our journey by staying in the Lakers' house. The just concluded season was a bitter pill to swallow for LeBron James and his crew, who started out with the grand ambition of aiming for the title. In 2021, the Lakers, after being eliminated from the playoffs and failing to keep up with the same high standards, decided to start anew. They lost some crucial players in their roster, did not re-sign Caruso, and traded players like Kuzma and KCP to acquire Russell Westbrook. Westbrook's arrival reignited the team's passion, and with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the addition of Westbrook seemed to open a winning cycle for the Lakers. Well, that wouldn't be the case at all. The new point guard didn't live up to expectations, and both James and Davis suffered continuous injuries. To have these three superstars on the team, the Lakers exhausted their salary cap, re-signing veterans at minimum wage and having no other valid options from the bench. That year, the Lakers' defense went from being the best in the league to the 21st defense in the league. At the end of the regular season, they couldn't even qualify for the playoffs, which was the first time for James since 2005. The following year, difficulties in making deals remained linked to their Big Three's salary cap, and expectations were high once again. It was supposed to be a season of redemption, but it didn't turn out that way. Westbrook had very low shooting percentages, and his impact was always limited. In reality, Westbrook's approach was due to a failure to adapt to his new role within the team. On the other hand, the Lakers were able to count on players like Reeves, who exploded this year and established themselves as great talents. The end of the Lakers' Big Three happened with the trade that brought Westbrook to the Clippers, and another pleasant surprise for the Lakers, Hachimura. Despite seeming to have found their own dimension after the trade, they suffered a humiliating swipe at the hands of Jokic and the Nuggets. Let's conclude our journey by talking about another great trio that always includes Russell Westbrook. During his time in OKC, Russell, orphaned of Durant and Harden, who left to pursue the title with the Warriors and Rockets, took charge of the team and strung together incredible seasons. These performances not only earned him the league's MVP award, but also brought two superstars to the Thunder, Carmelo Anthony and Paul George. This trio had piqued everyone's curiosity. Russell could have established himself as a great leader. George was experiencing his first time away from the Pacers, and Anthony would finally have a chance to reach for the title. But even this trio bitterly disappointed expectations. They were eliminated in the first round of playoffs by the Jazz, with Donovan's choices and Carmelo Anthony's performance harshly criticized. That year, Anthony would play one of his worst seasons in terms of scoring, with abysmal shooting percentages. In short, it is clear that while there are great dynasties begun with three superstars, such as the Miami of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, the Warriors, the Celtics of Allen, Pierce, and Garnett, or the Spurs of Parker, Duncan, and Ginobili. It is also true that often having three great players on the team is not always a guarantee. What do you think about these new Suns with Booker, KD, and Beal? Where do you think they can go? And for you, who were the most disappointing Big Three ever? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe to Goat of Basket. Thanks for following us. See you next time.